righty.
What's happening, people?
Here we are.
It's a new week, baby.
Is it?
Well, it's a new week for fantasy and a new week for us.
That's true. You want to update people on, I feel like you're always talking about the Giants to open the show. Is there anything that you want to tell people about the Giants, even though they don't really want to hear about it?
You feel like I say that all the time?
I feel like every time we're like, oh, the Giants got an offensive lineman.
Oh, I mean, sorry you feel that way.
I mean, is there anything that you want to update us about?
I mean, yeah, sure. But I think we we signed offensive lineman. I think his name is Matt Garcia or something like that from the Cardinals. We're shopping James Bradbury, and hopefully we can get some pick compensation, whether it's this year or next year. And we could be moving back in the draft, which got to wait and see. There's a lot of talks that we're going to be getting Sauce Gardner as well. I hope that's the case because we move away from James Bradbury, and then we go to Sauce Gardner. Give me Sauce and Nicky.
Sauce
Talk
and Nicky?
about it.
You want Sauce and Nicky?
Give me Sauce and Nicky, but I doubt we'll get two of those guys. One, because apparently we're planning on training back. Well, what do I know? I'm not even going to be there. I'm not going to be watching because I'll be in Fiji. It's mental.
For who?
Everyone else.
Oh my God, I love it. What's up, everybody? 26 people watching. Thank you for joining us today. What's up, Greg? What's up, Garrett? Long Lake, Greg. B-Max is here. Rice Cake Randy. Yes. So I want to start by saying a massive thank you to everyone who has been a part of this channel. I think we started I think it's like 2.5 months ago or something at this point. And I wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone because we are officially at 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So
come on.
Huge love for
thanks, man. What an opportunity.
Yeah.
Seriously. Hey, I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, same.
Huh?
But for real, thank you so much for subscribing, for hanging out with us, for dropping a like on all of our videos, on all of our live streams. Every little interaction that you do, whether it's subscribing, dropping a like, just helps us grow this community. So I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's watching because it's actually really mind-blowing for us, at least, because our first channel, it took us so long to monetize, and I think we just did it wrong for so long. But this channel just felt like it's something that people really want to be a part of, and we feel that we are in a real good zone here. So I want to say a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed. And now there is Super Chat, okay? So we are never going to ask you to do a Super Chat. We're never going to ask you or demand anyone to do anything like that. However, what I will say is if we are in a live stream and you absolutely want a question answered straight away, Super Chat is going to be the easiest way. Okay, whatever donation you drop when you drop that. Hey, Twin. Okay, Twin.
We gotta hit the gap. We got a brother from UK. You're from London, yeah?
Actually, you should comment and let us know what part of UK you're from because we got a lot of British friends. But anyway, if you do want your comment read straight away, you can always drop a Super Chat. There's of course no pressure to ever do so. But we want to let people know that feature is now available. So huge love for everyone supporting the channel, liking the content. Really appreciate you. And if you haven't dropped a like on today's live stream, let's go ahead and do it. Okay? Let's see if we can hit 100 likes today. I know it's a little bit ambitious, but with your help, we can probably do it. And if we do, Badaki either has to eat dog food or bet $20 on the Giants to win the NFC East. So it's either lose $20 or eat dog food, really. That's how I look at the ball.
I'm happy to win $20 any time of the day here. I know we're gonna win. I'm feeling confident in my beloved Giants.
I don't know where that confidence is placed, but I love it.
I'm feeling confident after 2020, after 2023.
Twin Caliber says near London guys, working, love the content, love that, man. Thanks for the sub.
Appreciate you, man.
Number one champion sound. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down. Just dropped down in London town. So is it? Are we Arsenal? Are we Tottenham? Who else is over there in London?
We are a lot of socks and nuts. That's what the English boys are really good English boys friends say. Either a lot of socks and nuts, or
I feel like those are the main Premier League teams near London.
Oh yeah, that one. And what's the one that I said I go for, but I really don't go for.
You said you support Leeds.
Leeds United, mate. Yeah.
So random.
I don't know if that's English or Australian, but that's funny.
Yeah, that was definitely an Australian mate. in Australia, mate.
Yeah, mine.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us today. We are pretty excited to do a rookie-only draft. And we'll say as we continue to grow, we will do our best to let everyone in, the mock drafts as fairly as possible. There will be people who miss out. That's just the reality. But if people do want to join today's mock draft, Badaki, how do they go about doing so?
Yeah, and in the chat above or the description below, super simple, super easy. Join our Discord in the solo link, solo.to/fantasylandfootball. Join our Discord, and you can see our Dynasty Damn It channel. Then there is a sub channel within there called Dynasty Mock Drafts. You can join there, and we will be posting that every single time we do a live mock draft as well. So whether it's mock draft or redraft, so come through. We're really excited. If you have any questions, once again, access in the chat. And solo.to/fantasylandfootball. The link in the description and in the chat.
An easier way to do that is just click on the link that's pinned in the chat.
No. Link in the description or a link in the chat above. Give them 2 options just in case.
Oh my gosh.
I like giving people options.
No, I was like, what's the easiest way though? There's a link pinned in the chat.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Garrett says no hacks today. Blue says I'm here before the 1 million followers. We'll see. You never know. Jay Stump says Kenneth Walker 3 versus Michigan tape gonna make me act up on God. Greg says I remember when you just started and we're struggling to get a full dynasty mock. Now stocks are booming. Yeah, about 2 months ago because we already had our main channel, but this channel we were struggling to fill these mock drafts, and now it feels like people are upset because they can't get into every one of them, which is unfortunate. It's just kind of the part of growing, but it's pretty awesome how the community has grown. Kenny Power says Will Smith that like button. Just smack the shit out of that like button.
Still fake to me.
It's not fake.
Not jokes. I was saying yesterday with the boys, I was like, boys, that's fake. They were getting upset.
I don't think anyone was like, oh yeah, that's I don't think anyone believed that you were saying it's fake. I just think we all knew that you were trolling at some point. Jar says won it all last year, was thinking of offering 112 in a first or more for Devontae Adams. Ooh, I would not be giving up 2 firsts for Devontae Adams at this point of his career. I think that would be an overpay. Gator says, when are we going to start at least trying the Patreon link? Hey, my man, I promise you we are doing everything we can. And I'll say this, before we start today, there will be people who miss out. And I just, there's nothing we can do about that. I wish there was a world in which we could all draft together, but there's only 10 spots in these mocks, so there will be people who miss out. That's just going to be the reality of it. However, from this point onwards, we will be aiming to do certain live streams where we send the link out only to those who are a part of our Patreon community, so they can be a part of it as well. So we make sure and value them. Christopher Simmons, thanks for allowing me to join, of course, man. So yeah, Adam, we can't all get in, unfortunately, but here's the deal. Badaki, you have the link. You want to tell people one last time how they can join, and then go ahead and send that link when you get a free second.
Yeah, look, the easiest way to get in is in the link above in the chat. That's the easiest way.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
That's the easiest way. So go there right now. Don't go to the description where it says solo.tl/fantasylandfootball. Go to the link pinned in the chat above or in the description. Once again, Dynasty Damn It, Dynasty Mock Draft tab. I'm putting it in the link right now. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. We'll just send it out to everyone.
In London town.
3, 2.
All right.
1.
You're gonna start letting people in.
By the way, 380 plus people in the Discord. Huge love to everyone that supported. I mean, almost 400 now. That's crazy. Links in. Is out. So excuse me.
All right. I decided, by the way, but I didn't tell you this, but I decided I'm going to sit this one out and just kind of comment as we go so more people can join.
Yeah, that's fine.
We always want to do everything we can to make sure everyone gets a chance to join these. So I figured I would take today and I'll kind of just comment on your guys' picks. Badaki will be drafting. And again, I'm just trying to make sure everyone gets as much of a chance as possible. You,
Sacrificial lamb here
you
from
can't
Zach,
say that
man.
we don't try. Okay.
What a giving heart.
Yeah, you know. I'm just trying to make the world a better place. You know, take a look in the mirror, and then what can we do from there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it starts with you.
Starts with me. Change starts with me. Anyway, so I will not be in today's mock, but I believe I'm going to be able to start it. Yes, I should be able to start it still. I didn't think about that.
Next minute, it's not.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. Like, what the
hell? There was a comment in the chat. Oh my god, our first super chat. Okay, wow.
That's a Blue.
Blue says, when are you guys doing a SuperFlex mock so I can DM you guys? First off, thank you for our first ever super chat, Blue, which got monetized. So huge love. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we will be doing 2 SuperFlex mocks this week. One will be tomorrow, and the next will be on Thursday night. Okay.
Yeah. So Tuesday night, Eastern Standard Time for you guys. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Send us a message 15 minutes before. Wait, are we still doing that, by the way?
Yeah. No, look, I'll say this as we grow.
It's kind of hard. It's a gray area, you know.
Oh, I think. Okay. Yeah, that just popped up. Thank you so much. We'll have to get that other donation thing that we have from the other channel.
Yeah.
Look, guys, as we grow, there's gonna be things that change, and we're gonna always try and make sure everyone gets an opportunity. But just know that things will change, and things won't always stay the same. But we're gonna always try and include you guys as much as we possibly can. But Blue, yeah, message us before the next mock draft. As long as it's not a Patreon mock draft, then we will absolutely get you in. Christopher Simmons.
Exactly. Shout out to Christopher Simmons, man. Thank you so much.
I'm pretty sure that's Cass. Let me just double check. But if Christopher, because someone just signed up to our Patreon.
I know he was talking about it earlier, Cass, saying that he was going to sign up. That's awesome.
Christopher Simmons, if that is the Dynasty League, then I think that means we only have 2 spots left. Yes, okay. So Chris Simmons just signed up to our Dynasty League. Thank you so much, Chris. We're going to send you a message after this live stream. And just before we start, we might as well put a small little plug for our follower leagues. If you want to be a part of a Dynasty follower league, Badaki, how can people do that?
Yeah, patreon.com/fantasylandfan. That's also in the description below or in that solo link. Patreon.com/fantasylandfan. Select one of the tiers that you would like to join. You can join a redraft. You can join a Dynasty, or you can do best of both worlds where you play redraft and Dynasty with Zach and myself. Not only you can play fantasy football with us, you get so much more exclusive content throughout the season. Our Dynasty rankings, our rookie rankings, like I said, exclusive content, and so much more. So we're really excited.
You get a one-on-one chat with us called the Fantasy Hotline, where you can ask questions. Yeah, there's so much to it, but also playing in that league. So thank you so much for signing up there. And we will send you a message afterwards. Now, again, if you want to get into this round of these leagues, there's 2 spots left, only 2 spots left. So, yeah, feel free to message us with any questions beforehand as well. All right. So really appreciate that, Chris. We will send you a message afterwards. Again, we have a like goal of 100 likes on today's video. Can we reach it?
You like that?
Maybe.
You like that?
Maybe we can reach it with your help. Thank you for joining us. We are doing a rookie only Dynasty draft. We got John here. I don't think we've had John in before. Welcome. Jay Stumps, part of Patreon. Welcome. Artie's here. Might be the first time. I can't remember. Kid Prosper's here. A lot of these guys are on our Patreon. Josiah, what's up, my guy? Mustang's here. Tebow's here. Lawrence is here. Charms is here. Greg is here. Tebow, you get into a lot of these mocks, my guy. You must have the hacks as well. Just like Garrett, you got some of those hacks on how to get.
Garrett got the hacks.
I love it. Okay, so we are doing again a rookie only draft. Let's give some context here before we start. If you're watching this later after the stream, if you're watching it now, let's get on the same page for 1 second, okay? Come close. All right.
Okay.
This channel, it's okay. All right, it's okay. All right. What's that movie when, is it Good Will Hunting? When he's like, it's okay. No, it's okay.
I actually don't know.
Here's the reality. If you have a different opinion than us, it is more than okay. We welcome differences of opinion here. If you disagree with what we say, that's okay. I can promise you there's things that I'm going to say today, that Badaki's going to say today, that you disagree with. And we welcome that. We welcome the conversations. We welcome the discussions. You can always disagree or have a difference of opinion. That is the beauty of this game that we call Dynasty Fantasy Football. The beauty of it is that we do see things differently, right? Because if we all saw things the same way, it'd be pretty damn boring.
Yeah.
So I want to say that before
man.
we start. It's okay if you disagree with some of the things that we say. Anything you want to say before we start?
No, all love. Let's just mock, honestly.
Okay, let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. 2 minutes on the clock. Take as much time as you want. At certain points, I will pause the draft so we can discuss picks.
Cause I was dying for this love. Guys, I know, I mean, I say this all the time, but I'm getting married in less than a month. I think that's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
I actually I just went in the living room because Ellen's there, and I was like, babe, like, it's less than a month. Like, shit. You sure about this? I was like, you sure about this?
Are you sure about this? No backing out soon.
Honestly.
Nah, big congrats. It's going to be a fun time.
I can't wait.
Brees Hall at the 101. I think Badaki and I would agree this is the player that at the moment we are the most comfortable taking at the 101. The player that we feel the most comfortable with, the most confident in. Now, is there a case for Malik? Of course there's a case for a quarterback that has that sort of mobility in a super flex league. I think landing spot's going to be really important for both of these guys. Would you agree?
Agreed, and that's what's gonna happen here. Brees Hall, the expectation hopefully he goes to a power offense. I mean, at the moment we mocked him in our last rookie, our second mock draft, NFL mock draft, real mock draft. We took him to the Bills, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And then Garrett Wilson at the 102. I think this makes a lot of sense here. I think it's gonna be.
Would you not argue that maybe Malik should be the next player off the board at this point with the knowledge that we know?
Yes, maybe.
Okay.
I think so many people are up and down on Malik. Maybe people believe in Malik. Maybe it depends on where he goes. But I feel like Garrett Wilson is, no matter where he goes, it feels like he has a good opportunity to be fantasy relevant.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Where Malik, he has to prove that, you know, he could be a 1 or 2 year deal where Garrett Wilson can be, 8 to 10. So I think it really depends on how you see that.
Yeah, at the moment, I feel the most comfortable with Malik at the 102. And again, that's purely based off the upside of what he can do on the ground and the arm. His arm is quite incredible. I mean, we have don't go watch his pro day and be like, oh my God, he's a superstar. Guys, everyone looks like a superstar at their pro day. It is set up by the school to make them look like a superstar. But on film, I think it's easy to say that he has the best arm of anyone in this class. And it's like, if you put his arm talent, like raw arm talent, next to guys like Josh Allen, I'm not saying he's going to develop, because there was a lot of developing that had to take place for Josh Allen. But if you look at their arm, just purely raw arm talent, I think he could be, he has top 5 quarterback potential. So for me, I would feel comfortable taking him at the 102. But after that, I do love Garrett Wilson. I do love Treylon Burks. So I think you can make a case for those guys. But I just wanted to quickly insert, a couple little thoughts there. Treylon Burks is now the 1-3. When we started this process, it looked like he was going to be the 101. Now after the combine, after the NFL, we kind of learned that maybe they're not as high on him. Where do you feel comfortable taking him in a startup as of now? It will change, of course, but...
Yeah, it will definitely change. I'm happy taking him where Malik went. I'm happy in the order of Brees, Garrett Wilson, Malik, and then Treylon Burks. I think that feels a lot more comfortable. Let me ask you a question and the community a question. Where does Treylon Burks have to go where he can fall outside of the top 5? Because we drafted, I think if I'm not mistaken, in our real mock draft, we drafted him to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And that, in your perspective, that hurts.
I don't like it.
Does he fall outside of your top 5 pick then, or is he still a top 5 pick, hoping that they move on from Jalen Hurts sooner rather than later?
I think with that question, we're trying to put together a puzzle, and we only have one piece of it's $150 puzzle piece, and we only have one piece, and we're trying to put the puzzle together. So I think it's just too early to say. Without knowing where everyone else lands. Hey, Ronnie, I saw your question. We're trying to keep up with the chat. He said, can I trade Mac Jones and too late 2023 first for Lamar Jackson? The issue with now calling them late 2023 first is you don't know where those firsts are going to end up being. You know, we have to be honest. So for me, I am more okay than with getting Lamar Jackson, but I don't think it should take that much. I think that's a slight overpay. Would you agree, Badaki?
Yeah, it just really depends on, like you said, where those picks go. So gotta wait and see where they goes. But I do believe it's a slight overpay.
Okay. Jasmine, I definitely agree. I do think Jameson goes in the first. I think that's pretty much a lock. Quote Nation, what's up, my guy? Chris says some saying if Brees goes to Buffalo, it hurts him. I don't think that's a bad spot at all. They want to slow down on Josh Allen's runs. Yeah, they've been pretty public on that.
I agree, and they just made a public announcement this past week, if I'm not mistaken, saying that we need to protect Josh Allen and we need to minimize those rushing attempts because, I mean, we saw a team like a Lamar Jackson that has a lot of rushing upside miss out on the playoffs because Lamar missed the second half of the season. That was crucial.
Mm-hmm.
They can't have that with Josh Allen. So we just gotta wait and see what happens.
All right,
there goes Jameson Williams there.
You're on the clock. Let's discuss with your time that you have there with some of these picks. So Kenneth Walker at the 1-5, Drake London Town at the 1-6, and Jameson Williams at the 1-7. For me, if I have the 1-7 and I'm able to grab Jameson Williams, my favorite wide receiver in this class, it feels great. I mean, it feels so good to grab him there. So I love that pick from Team 7 there. Also, London at the 1-6 feels like good value as well, based off of what the NFL is saying about Drake London, based off of what other people's opinions have on Drake London. It feels like both the 1-6 and the 1-7 got pretty good values there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good value. There is one person I would have taken over Drake London. Just because once again we're not huge Drake London fans.
Yeah, we're not.
We understand that he is, a 6'4" type guy. I think we would have a different type of build on our team and our fantasy team and on our actual NFL team as well. Which is a guy that I'm gonna take.
Just
that's
before you do that, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we just got a super chat.
Oh,
shout out to Kenny Powers. Thank you so much for that donation. You're so kind. He says, love that I get to sit at work getting paid while watching you guys Monday to Friday. Congrats on the monetization. Appreciate you guys. Hey, man, I really appreciate that, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I see your icon. It looks like Bill Cosby in a Browns uniform. Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Thank you so much for that. Badaki, sorry, you were going to make your pick.
Nah, all love. Yeah, and my pick is Chris Olave. I think with the way this first round is going, I do believe he's going to land on a good team. The expectations, like the Packers, even like the Chiefs, him falling into the late first round in the NFL draft, I think it is a prime opportunity. And I think if he does land on one of these teams, I think depending on where he goes, I think he will go higher than Treylon Burks, higher than Drake London, and higher than Jameson Williams.
He could.
It just really depends on where he lands. And I do believe he could land in a really, really good spot. Like I said, the Packers or the Chiefs. So we just gotta wait and see. But I like Chris Olave here at the 1-8.
Yeah. Okay. I love Chris Olave as well. He's my wide receiver 3 in the class. So I really, really do like Olave. I think between Olave and Garrett Wilson, I don't think there's as big of a gap as everyone else thinks. I mean, most people would see Garrett Wilson at the 1-2 and say, yes, that makes sense. And I agree. Most people would then see Chris Olave. I mean, we've had people on Stream Badaki see Chris Olave go in the first round, and they've told us there's no way that's
yeah, they
right.
told us
there's no way that he should be going there.
I think I took him as high as like the 1-5, 1-4 ones, and I was like, there's no way that's happening. And I was like,
yeah. So that being said, I don't feel like there's that big of a gap between them as prospects, and one would argue that maybe Olave ends up in the better
situation.
Offense.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I definitely agree. I can definitely see that happening, and which will make him obviously the more fantasy relevant player in the long haul. So we just gotta wait and see where he can go.
Yep. So Pickens goes after that at the 1-9. I mean, if you have hopes of getting George Pickens in the second round of your Dynasty rookie drafts, probably just dash those hopes, okay? Take it outside, back of the barn, and just shoot it, because it's not going to happen. You will not get George Pickens in the second round of your rookie drafts. And then we see Kenny Pickett at the 1-10. Again, it is a SuperFlex league, so while we have more confidence in these wide receivers early on, I do think at this point it's safe to take a chance on one of these quarterbacks. Would you agree, Badaki?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Kenny Pickett is fantastic there. I was contemplating between Kenny Pickett and Chris Olave at that pick, but once again, the longevity, the thought process of who can bring me a more fantasy life on my team, and I think that's Chris Olave, which is fantastic. But yeah, I love Kenny Pickett there at the
Hey, Drusif,
110.
thank you so
Hey,
much for that super chat. Said keep up the grind as a Pats fan. Really hoping they either take Burks or JMO if available. I think in our last community mock draft. Hey, thank you for the sub, Nep.
Appreciate you.
I think in our last mock draft, Badaki, we had Olave going to the Patriots. So, Drusif, I wonder how you would feel about that, because we had Olave going there.
Was that the first one you guys did?
No, that's the one we just did. If I'm not mistaken.
The one we just did. Hold on, let me just try to pull it up in the. That's on the community chat on our YouTube. By the way, guys, if you guys want to check that out.
Thank you so much for the donation. By the way,
we posted a picture of that. Let's see your channel, community. We had Chris
Williams, yeah, Williams says, y'all are my favorite Dynasty channel. Keep it up. I really appreciate that. What's up, Scott?
Appreciate you, man.
Kyle says, still have to believe that London is a stud if the NFL is talking about taking him in the top 10 picks.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, like, because we see the talent is just.
We don't know that we aren't like confident that he can win on routes the way that we are confident in Olave and Wilson. But
exactly, I think like the NFL is kind of changing where he feels like the guy that will go up and contest the catches. He was the Julio's, the Mike Williams, the Mike Evans, those guys that have really good route running and have body size. Where now, the smaller guys, the Waddles, the Kadarius Tonys, these guys are PPR monsters, and these are the Garrett Wilsons, the Chris Olave type builds. So, I mean, there's a gray area there as well, because you can say that with Treylon Burks,
For sure.
There's so many things.
Burks is a little bit of a different. I think he would win differently. He
exactly
reminds me more of an AJ Brown than he does a Mike Evans, but I get it. I'm not saying he will be AJ Brown, but that's just the comp that I see. All right, so we see Spiller at the 111, Ritter at the 112. If you believe in Ritter in a SuperFlex league, grab him. With Spiller, I feel super confident that he's not going to be a workhorse running back. And again, I am happy to look back in 1 year from now, 2 years from now, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But for me, when I look at Isaiah Spiller, when I watch the film, I didn't even need to see the testing. Honestly, before that, I just said to myself, this is not a workhorse running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I'm not comfortable taking him in the first round. However, I understand that there are many people in the community who do see him as that. So I understand why you would take him there, Greg. And then Jahan Dotson at the 2-1. You and I love Jahan Dotson. Big Jahan Dotson fans. Can definitely see him being kind of similar to like a Deontay Johnson in the league. So I like that. Just catching up with the chat.
Tossing a Prime sub. Is that on Twitch? That's fantastic, man. Thank you so much.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true.
You're also our first Prime sub over on Twitch. Thank you so much, Drew. Drew is just sending all the donations tonight. I really appreciate it.
I have no idea. I have no idea if we got a notification or anything on that.
I saw it. Yeah, I see it here. I have the Twitch stream open in case anyone comments over there.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Gator says, I like the idea of a 4-round rookie draft, but my co-commission, my Dynasty League, says he's good with doing a 5-round draft because it's 10 teams. That would only total 50 players. Thoughts? I mean, it just depends on what your preferences are. I don't think there's a wrong answer if you want to do 4 or 5 rounds. And if you want to do 5 rounds, just hopefully your benches are deeper in your leagues.
Yeah. I think that's what you need to tell them. A lot of commissioners forget, like, we're going to do these rounds, but there's not enough bench spots. But I don't think it's even you have to change it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think you can do, like, for example, a 10 rookie mock draft or a 10-round rookie mock draft and not have enough bench spots. I think you have to change that first. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, well, it depends on your league settings. Greg says, I have the rookie 110. My RBs are Montgomery, Dylan Mostert, Duke Johnson, Khalil Herbert. Do you guys think I can get an RB at the 110? Here's the thing, Greg. I think you can get an RB. Like, I do think Spiller and guys like Rachaad White will probably be available there. Now, should you use the 110 on a rookie running back? I firmly believe that there's better value with the quarterbacks and wide receivers at that point. So it's a interesting question because, yes, I think you can get a running back there, but I personally would be going best player available. And at that point of the draft, I don't believe the best player available would be a running back. So it's a little bit of a complex question, but that's how I see it.
I would encourage you to try to hold that 110. And if I'm assuming you have the 110, and if you still have that second, you probably have the 211 or the 210.
Yeah.
Maybe try to move up in the second round, try to get in these first 5-6 picks, and hope that one of these running backs, like a Jerome Ford, you know, a Rashad White, James Cook, depending on where these guys land, can bring you some value in that second round. So maybe that's a thought process that you can do, but it just really depends on how your league and everything is going.
Yeah, I'll just pause the draft here so we can talk about some of these picks. But you know, I think that's really, really good advice there. I would say, what are your second round picks? Do you have any 202s to 208s? That's where I would probably be taking a chance on a running back, because I think the tiers kind of even out a little bit more based off of the wide receiver and quarterback talent. But Ritter goes at the 112. I do think that Ritter could get some starting action as a rookie based off of what we've heard the NFL, how they view him. A lot of people love Desmond Ritter just as a leader, and purely because of how good of a leader he is, they want a guy like Ritter leading their locker room. So it's a possibility. Then we see Corral and Howell off the board at the 2-2 and 2-3. Superflex league, take a shot. If you like these quarterbacks, take a shot at this point. Then this Watson and David Bell. Now, I am much more happy with Watson here at the beginning of the second than I am with him at the end of the first. I know you're okay taking him at the end of the first, but to me, this feels like exactly where I would want to grab him at the 2-4. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it makes sense. Like I'm comfortable. Like I said, the one I think also going to depend on where he lands. But if he lands in a good spot, like you said, Kansas City, Green Bay, or it's just somebody that needs a wide receiver, and you can see a good workload. I can see him sneaking up into the first, and in rookie mock drafts. But this feels very comfortable as well. This is a steal in my opinion. The 2-4 for Christian Watson. Yeah, I like it.
And David Bell at the 2-5. I mean, he was a locked-in first-round pick in these rookie drafts. The combine happens, and now we're all low on him. You know, he didn't test well at all, but based off of his film, I didn't expect him to test well. So to me, the 2-5, I would be more than comfortable spending that on David Bell. I don't think he's going to win. The way he wins in the NFL is going to be similar to a guy like Allen Robinson. You know, he's not going to be the quickest, but he's going to out-bully people. He's going to be a good route runner. So I'm comfortable with that pick there at the 2-5 as well.
Yeah. Sounds great. Here we go. Here we go. I need to figure out my picks, man. Let me just go.
By the way, guys, if you haven't dropped a like, it would mean a lot for us if you could smash a like there for us.
Make sure you download those videos, by the way. Sorry.
Yes, I am.
It's pretty full right now, so.
Yeah, I'm downloading them. Appreciate all the love today on the stream, guys. We're going to try and keep up with as much of the chat as we can. Dameon Pierce at the 2-6. To me, that feels quite high for Dameon Pierce. I think Pierce might be available at the 3-6. I could be wrong. I might be misreading. But for me, I think there are other running backs on the board I would still draft over Dameon, as well as other positions. There's quite a few other players I would still draft over Pierce at this point. But you're a little bit higher on him than me.
I am higher on
what
Pierce.
I'm saying?
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
Ask you a question, then it's just like nothing.
No, sorry, I was reading it. I like, because I saw my name highlighted. Anyways, I like Dameon Pierce, not as high as a 2-6. Like I said, he is a bowling ball type guy, a guy that can punch it in the end zone. I don't know if he will get a massive workload. If he does, maybe there's an opportunity for him to, I feel like he comes in and somebody gets injured, then he comes in, like then he can be something. But I think he's worth more of like a mid to late third round, in my opinion now.
Shane, we actually alternate every stream. So, I still need to buy a Commanders jersey because we hit that light goal, but Aki still needs to buy an Eli Apple jersey. But pretty much every stream we alternate. It's either me or him doing different things.
Yeah.
Jasmine says, gently stroke that like button. All right, so Kyron Williams at the 2-7. I mean, still, I like Kyron Williams, but I think this is a little bit too early. There's still so much talent on the board here. I would have never expected at the 2-8 for there to be 4 or 5 players that I'm in love with on the board. And I know you're on the board, so I'm not going to speak for you, but there is still so many talented guys here at the 2-8 that I feel should have already been off the board.
Yeah, exactly. And It's very interesting to see all these players go ahead. And I did this last time, and I don't know if I'm going to try to do it again because I don't think it'll come back to me. I'm actually going to take my running back 2 in this class, a guy that I love, a guy I hope he can land in a great, fantastic spot, and that's Jerome Ford. I think it's a do it all back. I think he can play all downs. He's a pass catching back as well. He's a guy that can come in and just do everything. Literally, he does everything. A 4-star high school recruit. That is my guy. Why not go and get Jerome Ford? If you don't know about him, go watch his tapes. Okay,
His mixtapes.
His mixtapes. You got that new Jerome Ford mixtape? Huh? This is his mixtape. This is mixtape.
Trey McBride at the 2.9. That feels like robbery to me. Grabbing Trey McBride at the 2.9, but there is still someone on the board, and I am what's the word? Bamboozled. There he goes. Sky Moore at the 2.10. I remember when I first brought up Sky Moore to the channel, he was going late 3rd. And then since the combine, he was going early 2nd. Now late 2nd. I think both Sky Moore, all 3 of these guys, McBride, Sky Moore, and Rachaad White, getting them at the end of the 2nd round feels like robbery to me. Yeah. That feels like great value for every single one of those guys. I mean, Rachaad White, is Isaiah Spiller going to be better than Rachaad White in the NFL? I don't know. I think there's a possibility that Rachaad White is more successful in the NFL. Sky Moore, one of my favorite wide receivers. I would feel comfortable taking him as early as the 2.2, 2.3, and McBride is a complete tight end. So I think if I had a late 2nd and this was the way the draft panned out, I would be feeling on top of the world.
Yeah, it's great getting him that late. I didn't take him because,
No, I don't. Did you want to explain?
No, I'm saying I didn't take him because of the community. I'll let the community take him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like a specific reason. I was like,
Well, you were like, I was like, I don't actually. Tell me. James Cook at the 2.12. Dalvin's little brother.
You gotta love Dalvin's little brother. Yeah, I like him a lot.
You could definitely
bring him to the Giants
in the NFL.
Bring him to the Giants.
Yeah, we've heard rumors about that, haven't we?
They said that the Giants apparently really like James Cook. So
yeah,
I love you. Say.
Gator says, I thought about someone like Sky Moore or McBride, but I already took a receiver and I have Pitts on my Dynasty team. Yeah, that's again another example though. For me in these rookie drafts, I'm going best player available. I'm not gonna take if I view Sky Moore as a much better prospect and Rachaad White or McBride than Kyron, I'm gonna take those players. I'm gonna go best player available in these rookie drafts. That will be my strategy. That will be what I do personally. Jasmine, you're allowed. Yeah, you're definitely allowed to do that. Go for it. Christopher Simmons, I'm pretty sure he wanted Sky.
That's funny. Yeah, Christopher wanted Sky. Everyone like James Cook.
Blue says Ritter is behind Carroll and Howell for me. Understandable. I think you can make the case for that for sure.
There goes John Mechie. Shane, everyone likes James Cook, but is the fact that he's Dalvin's brother cloud our judgment, or is he really that guy?
That's
for
a great
me,
question.
There's 2 different perspectives. Maybe it does cloud the judgment. But for me, I try not to go off of that. I do believe there is hints of James Cook that could be like Dalvin. But when I looked at his film, you don't see much happening there. But when he does get the ball for James Cook, but when he gets the ball in space and he's a pass catching back, I think that he can be very successful in the NFL because he's a pass catching back.
Okay.
So that's why.
Let's pause here and talk about this because it sounds like you've potentially changed your tune on James Cook because there's been conversations before where you've said that you believe he could be an all-down back.
No, I still do believe that.
Okay.
I'm saying like the upside with him, even if he's not that, is that he can be a pass catching back in the league.
Okay.
And that's what I like about him, because he's versatile. I see both sides. I generally see both
Yeah.
sides. It just really depends on what team believes in him.
For me, I've kind of had this same stance since evaluating him, and it's just that I think he can be a really good third down back. I see like James
Mhm.
White is his upside in the NFL, a player who can contribute to an offense year after year, but he's probably not going to be a workhorse. I think he's going to be that complementary piece that can, fill in if he needs to, take a couple carries, but mostly get work through the air and be that spell back. That's how I kind of view him, but maybe he does get a chance to start, and we'll see what can happen. What's
Yeah.
up, Dave? Welcome in, brother.
What's happening, man?
Christopher Simmons says you don't pass up on a guy like Sky, and Zach has been telling y'all since January. I love my boy Sky. I'll never stop talking about him. Jasmine says love Mechie in round 3. I think that's great value as well. Mechie round 3 feels like pretty good value.
Mm.
Vikings, yeah, it would be so interesting if the Vikings took Dalvin's brother. All right, so Wandale, Mechie, Brian Robinson, Zamir White, Zonovan Knight. Again, another reason why I am not going to be spending a first-round pick on a running back if it's not Brees and it's not Kenneth. Because a guy like Brian Robinson is sitting here in the 3rd round. And to me, like the tiers of talent between Brees Hall and anyone else is insane. But then again, Kenneth Walker, the tier between Kenneth Walker and the rest of the running backs is so big for me. So guys like Spiller, Rashad White, Jerome Ford, Brian Robinson, these are all players that I look at and I think to myself, I mean, they could all succeed in the NFL, but they could all just be depth pieces. So I would be much more comfortable taking, again, like a wide receiver here, and then taking a chance on a guy like Brian Robinson in the 3rd. Then we see, I'm assuming this is Zamir White, another player that I would feel comfortable taking a shot on. Zonovan Knight. What do you think about what I've just said there?
Look, there's 2 options. One, I didn't hear all of it, but what I do see in the mock draft is that Zamir White and Zonovan Knight. I don't know if I would be taking them. At least Zonovan Knight specifically, I would be taking him in the 3rd. I don't know
I'm
if you
not
said
taking
that.
Zonovan Knight in the 3rd. I didn't talk about him. I talked about Brian
Okay.
Robinson. So you didn't
Brian
listen at all,
Robinson.
is what you're saying. Just let's
No.
get on the same page. Okay.
Sorry, I was doing something else. I'm sorry.
That's perfect.
But
Justin
hey,
Ross at
now
the
you know how it
3-6.
feels. Now you know how it feels.
Just pay attention, kid. Jeez, I'm talking to myself here. Justin Ross at the 3-6. I do love me some Justin Ross. The film before the injury is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Now, can he be the same player afterwards? Hard to say. Really difficult to say.
We gotta wait and see what can happen. I'm scared of what is it, neck or back injury. I don't know if I want to take that chance.
Injury to the spine.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to take that
Strong at the
chance.
3-7. A lot of people like Carson Strong in the league.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
he had
of
his pro
GMs
day here,
like him.
and really smart quarterback. What was it through interception and 1% of his passes or something like that? Something crazy like that.
1.3% of his pass attempts led to interceptions, which is very, very good, especially considering that this offense there in Nevada was a pass-happy offense, very, very centered around the pass. So
he knows how to protect the ball. Really strong arm. Super efficient. Makes my decision a lot easier. I'm gonna take my guy, Shakira. If you know, you know. I love this man. A great guy, all around wide receiver, a good slot receiver. I can see him being a star in the NFL. Hopefully, he lands in the right spot.
Shakira, I like it. Jalen Tolbert at 3'9", big body guy. We'll see what happens with him.
Big body bends.
Twin Caliber says I play in IDP league, so trying to figure out where DNs and LBs go is going to be tough. Yeah, we don't play IDP, so there definitely would be channels out there that would though. Jasmine says B-Rob could produce numbers like Chris Carson. To be honest, big powerful runners might give you 4 good years. I can see that.
Okay.
John says might have missed it, but how do you feel about Wandale Robinson at the 301? I feel great about Wandale there. I think that's really good value. I'm very interested to see where he goes in the draft, but I've been on Team Wandale for a while now. Yeah. However, I will say Alec Pierce falling to the 312 just seems ridiculous. Had a great combine and is a very interesting prospect. Very big body, great athlete. So him falling to the 312 feels like it's a little bit too late for me.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the steal, like the actual NFL draft. Wherever he goes, I think he will go and contribute immediately. We really like Alec Pierce. When we saw his tape, he was like, "Whoa!" Like we weren't expecting this. He was like on that second list where he was like, "Man, should we do these guys?" And we're like, "You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just scout all these guys and see what happens." And we glad that we scouted the second group because he was the guy that stood out the most to us in that second group, and I really like him a lot.
Yep, big body, can win at the point of the catch. So for me, Alec Pierce feels like a big steal of this draft so far, this rookie draft that we're looking at. All right, and then we got Algier off the board and Tyler Beatty. Y'all know I love me some Tyler Beatty. Small guy, running back out of Missouri, but quite impressive. I mean, 5 games where he rushed for over 200 yards in the SEC this last year. So while he's undersized, I think he's proven that he can be a force to reckon with. So I like taking Beatty here at the 4-2. Another shot on a guy that I really like. Yeah, I agree. There's a certain player being mentioned in the chat. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to influence the draft, but I agree he should be drafted.
I definitely see it. So he definitely should. I think he usually gets drafted in this round anyway, so it makes sense for him, at least so far.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much fantasy relevancy he will bring, but there is definitely an opportunity because of that speed.
The good thing about him is, yeah, he did ball out at the combine. The bad thing is that he, like, all of his numbers are a little bit skewed based off of the college that he went to. So I don't want to get too much onto it. Austin, what's up? He says, "Hey guys, I'm looking at Kareem Hunt's contract, and the Browns save over $6 million by trading him, and they have Johnson and Chubb already. Thoughts on Hunt being traded?" My thoughts on running backs being traded is always pretty similar, in the fact that it just doesn't happen typically. So if it does, it won't be for much. I mean, running backs do not get traded all that often. The more likely scenario is that they get cut. So there's a chance that Hunt gets cut, but at the same time, I think about it from the perspective of, well, Deshaun Watson's coming in, and this team is better with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Dude. So I don't think that will happen, but I think it's a possibility. At the same time, I think there's a more realistic chance that he's cut rather than traded, but who knows?
One thing I did think of when Deshaun Watson, finally went to the Browns, is now that this offense is going to be more consistent and more efficient and more, at least that's the thought process. Deshaun Watson is going to bring them into that red zone area a lot more often and a lot easier, where maybe they don't need someone like a Kareem Hunt anymore.
Maybe.
And I know that's a huge stretch, like they don't need Kareem Hunt. What can happen if Nick Chubb goes down? But then I see Kareem Hunt getting the pass catching abilities and less of Kareem Hunt getting those pass catching abilities.
You just said Kareem Hunt back to back.
I mean, Nick Chubb and then Kareem Hunt getting. Sorry, so I see Nick Chubb getting Kareem Hunt pass catching opportunities over Kareem Hunt because, I mean, it's going to be more efficient. It's just going to be more efficient. I think that's definitely a possibility. Not saying it's going to happen, but I know there is an opportunity that Kareem can lose some touches, in my opinion.
I guess there's a possibility that could happen. I guess for me, I just think about their offense as a whole. Probably makes sense to keep Chubb. It doesn't make sense for fantasy, but I think it makes sense to keep Chubb healthy, to keep him not winded during the game. So I think the combo of if it's not Kareem, it'll be someone else. I don't think that Chubb is ever going to be this massive guy through the air. It just makes sense for their team the way that they've done it, and they've shown that it's been successful. Pierre Strong at the 4-4. That was the player that we were talking about. Great 40 time. Then we got Romeo Dubs, Dulcich, Cole Turner, Jelani Woods, and Zaquandre White. You guys know I love me some Zaquandre White. I will be spending most of my 4th round picks this year on Zaquandre and Tyler Beatty. Just taking shots on these guys.
The opportunity, you know, the opportunity. There's a guy that I haven't taken. Maybe the community will take, but we'll see.
Shane said DK Metcalf added my girlfriend on Snapchat. No joke. What should I do?
Shane, send a picture in the chat. It's not real. Put on Discord. It's not real.
I believe Shane.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Tell them.
What should you do? I would say. Here's what you do.
First of all, why are you adding it? Number one.
What?
Like, why are you adding? That's the question. You know, like, why are you adding him?
DK added his girlfriend.
Why is DK adding her? Excuse me.
Well, we don't know the answer to that. I would say, here's what you do. You do you. You don't worry about it. If she leaves you for whatever reason, then that's on her, bro. Okay? You got to stick to you. You got to do you. You're not DK Metcalf, okay? You're Shane.
No, but that's Shane. Yeah, that's Shane.
You're Shane. Be Shane. That's
Shane
all you need to do.
Shane Andreas, that Grand Theft Autos. He owns that.
Christopher Simmons, thoughts on trading Lockett, or do I hold? I would hold at this point, to be honest, because I think he has a chance to be traded or cut and signed to a better team mid-season. So I would hold on to him at this point. Tyquan Thornton at the 411. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this video, but there was a video surrounding social media where it looked like Tyquan, or actually it was Calvin Austin, sorry.
No, it was Calvin Austin.
There was a video circulating around the internet where at the combine, it actually looked like Calvin Austin put up a 301 40? Is that right? Like a 301?
It was something ridiculous that felt.
It looked like the clock stopped late. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I would say go check that out. Just type in Calvin Austin 40 time, because there's a video circling around right now where it actually looked like Calvin broke the record, but the clocks weren't working properly. Definitely worth looking at. And then Ty Chandler goes at the 412. Let's look. Is there any players that didn't get drafted, Badaki, that we think should have?
There's a guy that I love, wide receiver, 25-year-old rookie, Velus Jones Jr. I love him. I think he reminds me of a Khalil Shakir. I would always, just like Zach say, I would be spending his 4th round picks on Tyler Beatty, Samir, or Zonovan Knight. Zonovan Knight, I'm taking and spending that on Velus Jones, in my opinion.
Zaquandre White.
Zaquandre, sorry.
So Julius Chestnut, Sincere McCormick. Yep, some people are shouting out some people in the chat. I'll say this: Kennedy Brooks out of Oklahoma and Keontae Ingram. They're both similar running backs, big body guys. I think can handle a workload. I think they should definitely be looked at. I wouldn't be surprised if Kennedy Brooks goes much higher than people are expecting at this point. Kevin Harris is interesting. Kyle Phillips wasn't drafted. Just want to throw his name out there.
He's still not getting drafted. I don't think there's any
drafted, but I do think he will be drafted in real rookie drafts. That's why I keep saying his name, because Kyle Phillips to me is someone in the NFL who can win the way Hunter Renfrow won. Like those traditional Patriot wide receivers like the Edelmans. I'm not saying he's ever going to reach that ceiling, but I think he can be like that sort of wide receiver for an NFL team. The completely underwhelming prospect that comes in and he's just consistent with what he's given. So I do think that there is a chance that Kyle Phillips becomes a relevant player. So I want to keep talking about him because I'm very interested to see where he goes in the draft as well. Yep, Abram Smith, definitely a lotto ticket. I believe Abram's out of Baylor, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Bailey Zappi, yeah, not a bad shot there. John, I think you could take a chance on him with one of the fourth round picks if you believe in him. I think, the landscape of quarterbacks, it's hard to find a bunch of starting quarterbacks here. And Zappi, will he ever be more than a backup? Who knows? But again, it's a 4th round pick. So if you think he has that upside, why not take a shot? If you take a shot on a guy like Zappi, though, you got to be prepared to just leave him on your taxi for quite a while.
For a while, yeah.
And you need to know if your league allows that kind of stuff. Like most of our leagues only allow 1 year on the taxi, which maybe we should look at and see if that's the best thing for our leagues.
I think
But
as we keep going with some of our leagues, we get, you know, our leagues get deeper and deeper and deeper. We need to have more taxis and more things. But at the same, that's a hard area as well, because you want the waiver wires to kind of have life a little bit as well.
yeah, definitely, it's a line that you always dance on.
Hmm.
What was I going to say? Is anyone watching Formula One? You guys know we talk about Formula One all the time, but I just want to know, does anyone care? Because we should probably stop talking about it if no one cares. But wow, what a race. That was interesting.
What a race.
We're going to spend the next couple minutes just answering any questions in the chat. I know we're not able to keep up with the chat throughout the stream all the time. If you guys ever do have a question that you want answered straight away, feel free to use that super chat, but we'll also maybe spend some time now just answering any questions that you guys have. And while you guys are going to submit some questions, we will go ahead and plug a couple things as well. We'll let you know what is going on in our world. Patreon.com/FantasylandFam. If you want to join a Dynasty League with us while also supporting our show, supporting us as content creators, not only do you get to be a part of a league, you also get the Fantasy Hotline, which is a one-on-one DM with fantasy advice from us. You get our rankings. You get an in-season exclusive Patreon-only live stream.
Right.
So check that out over there. Right now, our current follower league, we only have the current opening for this latest Dynasty League. There is 2 spots left. 2 spots left.
I'm through, baby.
So if you want to secure your spot there, check that out. The other thing is we do have a main redraft channel. I mean, how are we going to keep calling it our main channel? Because this channel is definitely going to get bigger than that redraft channel.
Yeah, we should definitely have a conversation, but I think it's good to have separate locations for where these videos can go.
No, definitely. This channel that I just pasted in the chat is going to thrive more towards the actual season when we talk about redraft content.
Yeah. But I mean, they're both our main. I mean, they're both channel A and channel B. I guess doesn't matter.
It's 1A, 1B. It's Tyreek Hill and it's Jalen Waddle. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 great channels. Like Zach said, one's redraft, one's dynasty. So if you support us here, I hope to see you in the redraft chat when that's kind of popping off, because that usually really pops off during and before the season. So we really appreciate you guys, and it's really exciting.
I just pasted a link to our Twitch. You can now do that Amazon Prime sub thing to our Twitch, but Badaki is still working on adding some benefits over there on for our Twitch Prime subscribers. Yeah. But just so you know, you can do that now if you'd like to. Shane says, whose side are you on, Will Smith or Chris Rock? I said this in the chat last night with some of our friends. I said no one really wins here, to be honest. No one wins from what happened.
I don't think I don't know. I don't. And maybe it's the wrong thing to say. I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, it is a pretty big deal, right? Because technically, if Chris Rock wanted, he could have pressed charges.
No, he could have. But
that's a pretty big deal for Will Smith's life, for his family, But I just don't think anyone won. It was probably who really cares about my thoughts? But I feel like the joke, yes, was insensitive, but maybe the better approach would have been for Will to have pulled him, to the side afterwards and been like, "Hey, this is actually a really serious part of our life." Maybe that would have been good, but
honestly, I still don't know what he got upset about.
I think he was more upset because of Jada's reaction. Her reaction and how she felt, I think, really upset him. But there's also there's a book that Will Smith released recently talking about how he was raised in his childhood. And, I guess we're getting too serious here, but I just saw a TikTok video about it that was pretty informational about how when he was younger, he didn't step in when his mom was being abused. And now he felt like, he talks about in that book how he felt like he was a coward and he shrunk back in situations when he felt like he should have taken action. And anyway, I'll say this. I think Will Smith is a fantastic person. I think he's a great role model. I think he's a very good man who just made a mistake. We all make mistakes. We all mess up.
Right.
So I think this could very easily be resolved by a conversation between them, just saying, "Hey, man, I messed up."
He put a public apology out
Did
already.
he? Okay.
Yeah, so
But
like
it probably
he
would mean a lot more for him to have a one-on-one conversation with Chris. But
yeah.
they can get through it. It's just, yeah, no one really wins there.
Yeah, well, it's just drama in the rich people's lives, huh?
Steven says, bit of a shout out as much as a question, but have y'all seen any tape on Jaquari Roberson? He's almost certainly won't get drafted as he was a combine snub, but I really don't get why. I'll be honest with you, Steven. We haven't
No idea who that is.
we haven't scouted Jaquari. Might look him up now and scout him after this live stream though.
Yeah.
Jaquari Roberson. What's his name? Some Wake Forest. 6'1", 182. I'll definitely give his film a glance over.
There's always, one or two players that will go undrafted and have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So many undrafted players. Like at least I don't know what the fantasy community was talking about. At least I don't think the fantasy community was raving about James Robinson until the whole cut of Lenny.
James Robinson, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, we brought up Elijah Mitchell. I think that was just something like we don't hit on everything. That was just something that we hit on when we talked about Elijah Mitchell last year. But, there are always going to be players every year that people don't talk about. But the issue is that we fall in love with prospects based off of their film. But these guys who are not invited to the combine are those real players that come out of nowhere. They're the 1%, not the 99%. It's hard to find that 1%, but we'll definitely check his film out for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say Sam Hartman. I don't know if you guys watch Quarterback One. He might have had a big part to play there, but we'll have to watch the film.
Yeah.
John says in a rebuild and collecting 23 first, traded Deontay Etienne and a 24 second for DK, midish 2 23 first and a 301. So I'm assuming you got DK 2 23 first and the 301. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with that as well. I don't mind that. Rebuild.
I love ETM, but if you got 2 23 first and DK, I'm okay with that. Quote Nation says someone from my league just traded Pollard and Clyde for Herbert and Olamide Zaccheaus. Yikes.
Yeah, that's bad GGs.
That's rough. Chris says, do you guys have any spots left in that league? Chris, you are in that league. As long as because you just signed up on stream, right? Christopher Simmons, yeah. So you're in the league that we're talking about, the one that has 2 spots left.
Yeah, the one that has 2 spots. So we will send you that information here once we're done with the stream. We're going to edit some videos and then respond to everyone that has inquired or whatever the case may be. So just be on the lookout for that. That should be happening here very soon. If not tonight for you guys, and tomorrow morning you should be receiving messages.
Yeah, and Josh says, how do you get into the league with you guys again? I'll paste the link there. It's our Patreon. It's a way for you to support us as content creators, be a part of the leagues that we host, be a part of that community. You get the one-on-one advice, the rankings, the exclusive live streams. So it's kind of something that we do for those who support us.
And we do the live draft reveal order here live as well. We also mock live with you guys as well on stream, so you can kind of look at Zach's queue.
Not mock, we draft live.
We draft. That's what I meant to say, as a joke. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way to hide my queue.
I say what you do is that you just.
I think I'm gonna have to have the screen open in 2 different sections.
I would say just mock on your laptop.
You mean draft on my laptop?
Sorry, draft on your laptop. Yeah. Sorry, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere today. But yeah, draft on your laptop and just have it stream the thing.
I'll figure it out. Easy. But yeah, our drafts for those follower leagues will be live streamed. So that
another thing you can do is cover because so many people want to see the players that are available.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe you can just cover all the players that are available and then kind of go from there. But
might have to do old school pen and paper. Who knows? But
You ain't
guys,
gonna
thank you so much for joining us today. Today's rookie draft. Tomorrow we will be doing a SuperFlex mock. It will be our Patreon supporters will get the benefit of having that link sent to them first, and then day after that we'll do a rookie draft, and then the day after that we'll do another SuperFlex mock. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for hanging. Hopefully everyone had a good time. And I think that's
it
it.
was all love. It was all love.
Is that it?
Thanks for. Yeah, that's it. Once again, if you have any questions, please let us know. Content. One thing I always like to say: suggest content ideas. Put any ideas you have of us that you want us to do in the next coming weeks. I know we're gonna have some new things, not new videos and thought process coming soon this week as well. But yeah, put it in. Maybe players or buy or sell people that you want to hear about. We have a whole list of people that we're gonna do, but maybe if the community really wants to hear on one specific person, maybe we we'll try to expedite that. But if not, all love.
All love, guys. If you haven't dropped a like on your way out, it would mean a lot if you could do so. And we will see you guys tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good night.
Deuce.